So have we learned anything from the rest of the world? I mean, Michelle, you've traveled the world. Danny, I know you're everywhere. So let's talk a little bit about that. Have we learned anything? We're a country that has tremendous ethnic diversity, and I still eat Greek food, but there's other people that are now understand what Greek food means to them. The Mediterranean diet, those kinds of things. Do they have?
In your opening remarks, you mentioned the importance of women, and I think one thing that we can learn from the rest of the world. There's this perception that farmers are men, that you see them riding tractors or combines or whatever, but the reality is that about half of the world's agricultural labor force is women, and in some countries, women make up 80% of all farmers. Yet they don't, and in this country too, it's not just in sub-Saharan Africa, they lack access to education and extension services and financing and credit and et cetera, et cetera. So the more that we can learn from countries where women are supported as farmers, and they're recognized for not just being food producers or nutritional gatekeepers, but business women and entrepreneurs and innovators like we're seeing here, the better. And there are pockets of that in a lot of countries. So I think that's one thing that we can learn.
What was the question?
What can we learn?
Have we learned?
Globally,
yeah.
The fact that plant-based diets are...
Well, yeah, it's interesting because certainly many traditional diets around the world are plant-based. And so it's always funny when something like becomes a trend, and it's actually something that's been going on for thousands of years the world over. It's just that the Western diet, or at least especially the American diet, has supplanted a lot of traditional culture eating, and then unfortunately what's happening is a lot of the American way of eating is being exported, especially to developing countries, and so now those countries are seeing some of the same effects. I talk about we export our way of eating and living, and then of course along with our way of dying, which is a sad situation. So I'm sorry to answer your question in a downer way, but then back to tobacco, and this is also something that the food industry, the junk food industry, has taken a page from big tobacco and big alcohol. So when the U.S. market gets saturated, like it has, for all things bad for us, then these industries have to go somewhere to grow, because that's how capitalism works, grow or die. And so where's to go but the rest of the world? And so that's what's happened. You have, you can't really go anywhere now without seeing a Coca-Cola ad. Sorry to pick on them, but they're pretty aggressive in the developing world.
Well, and when Coca-Cola is more ubiquitous than water in some communities, that's horrifying,
Yeah.
So here's the big, it's consumer choice. Consumers want that.
Except it's not a level playing field, like I was saying earlier. When you have companies that so aggressively market that they're putting logos on child's diapers. It's, or encouraging poor women to feed their child Coca-Cola because at least it has some sugar in it and the water supply is contaminated. What's the consumer choice in that situation? Or you have, I'm sorry, I'm getting on a roll now. You have companies that send a ship through the Amazon and then have women knocking door to door to sell poor families small amounts of junk food, similar to the idea of selling individual cigarettes. This is a way to get people hooked on something that's bad for them. You sell them something really small that they can afford, and then they're hooked, that kind of thing.